Okay, thank you. I'd like to call to order the Thursday, July 20th, 2017 Board of Adjustment meeting. Roll call, please.
Stonebarger.
Present.
Stein.
Here.
McGuire.
Here.
Shriver.
Here.
Dolly.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
Albertson.
Here.
Arnold is absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the June 22nd, 2017 meeting. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Stonebarger, second by Mr. Dolly. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Second item is the application for Lake City Slow Pitch Softball Association, permit number 17523, seeking a conditional use for the sale and serving of alcohol at a C1 commercial district, in which is Watertown Sports Complex at 1512 17th Avenue Southeast. Jill?
The applicant seeks to sell malt beverages at specific softball events. If approved, they will apply to the City Council for alcoholic beverage license. Bar Tavern is a listed conditional use for the C1 Community Commercial District per 21-24034, and other uses, which in the opinion of the Board of Adjustment are of the same in general character, may be approved per 21-240327. This location is more than 100 yards measured by the regular and usual path of travel from any door or exit of any church, school, boys or girls club, or community-sponsored recreation center. Therefore, it meets the 2.0102 location criteria. A site plan was not provided, so we'll show the aerial photo. The following rules, requirements, and standards of the ordinance are to be considered for approval. 21-0202, 2B6A through H, specific rules governing individual conditional uses. This includes ingress, egress of the property, off-street parking and loading, refuse and service areas, utilities, screening, buffering, signage, exterior lighting, required yards and open space, and general compatibility with the area. Chapter 2163, off-street parking and loading requirements and engineering design standards. The C1 district is exempt from off-street parking requirements. Chapter 2165, outside storage and display requirements for specific uses. Commercial uses, merchandise which is offered for sale, rental, or lease may be displayed beyond the confines of a building here. Chapter 2180, signs and outdoor advertising. Signage was not addressed in the application. Chapter 2173, landscape and lighting standards, and Titles 5-1821 on sidewalk, trail, and curb gutter. This is city-owned property. It is not yet compliant with the required boulevard infrastructure and interior tree improvements as required by ordinance. This board must determine if satisfactory provision and arrangement has been made concerning 210202 2B6A through H and the titles and chapters described. If application is endorsed, the board may consider conditions of approval such as limiting areas for sale, serving, and/or consumption, such as no parking lots, fulfillment of any and all lacking boulevard infrastructure requirements, and any other conditions the board deems necessary. We did have one adjacent landowner that called in support of this application. I believe it is the property or properties right up here to the north.
Thank you, Jill. So this is the new sports complex.
Yes.
If we approve this conditional use, how long is it good for? Is it perpetuity? Is the property, or is it for just this?
It would be for the events they've listed in their letter, apparently.
With that, I'll open the public hearing.
I believe so.
You can come on up, Dwayne. With that, I'll open the public hearing so we can get some of those answers. The questions I have is we've approved temporary movement of permits in the extension center, the wing fling out at Lake Kempesca. Is this the same thing we're asking for? Are you asking for the conditional permit just to run from during this tournament?
Yes.
Yeah, I need you to sit down, state your name, get on TV.
First of all, my name is Dwayne Meyer. I want to thank you guys for giving us the opportunity to talk here. This will be for Lake City Slow Pitch Softball, just for the 2-day tournament that we're having here, August 12th and 13th. It's a men's slow pitch rec. We haven't had a slow pitch tournament in Watertown since 1997, and it was my job to get the tournament here, and I got it here successfully. So we are putting on a tournament. We have approximately 50 teams, and we'd like to sell alcohol for those 2 days. Every state tournament that I've been through, and I've been through a lot of them, they all sell beer, and that's where you get a lot of the funding from. So
Yeah, the difference with this, and a lot of times when we approve a conditional use, let's say it's for a restaurant, it's on a building, a lot in a building, many times that stays to different owners. With this is just a 2-day blip, and this is just the first phase of it. The second phase of this is you then have to go to the city council, if I'm not correct, to get the actual permit. So we look at the location, and the city council looks at more of the usage to see if it's something they want, and they look at the people. In this case, this is city-owned property, much like Lake Compesca and the Wing Fling, much like the Extension Center when we Ducks Unlimiteds and things like that we do. So I assume this is similar to that. Any questions you guys have for Mr. Meyer?
Dwayne, at
Yeah.
Cook, do they have a limit of that? Do they have a band that you have that you can use? You can have 2 beers at a day or anything, or is that not
At Cook?
Yeah.
No.
When we sell beer out there.
They don't, we don't sell beer out to Cook.
Yeah, they bring that in
They
there.
bring their own.
Oh, that's right. They
So
bring
what we're trying to do, hopefully we can, is start selling beer at the Ball Diamonds. That way we can control a lot of that's
Yeah,
going
okay.
on out there. So
Is an armband a dumb idea, or so you can't
absolutely not.
have?
The other state tournaments, they'll mark the players, like with a marker, or they'll put a wristband on. They'll check them, they'll ID them, then they'll give them a wristband, and that's how they check them all. So there'd be a wristband for like each day for the ball players.
How do you handle the tax, the sales tax? Do you pay tax to the city then on the sales of the alcohol?
I'll let Nancy talk about that. She runs the concessions and everything.
Hi, I'm Nancy Conlon, and I run the concession for Lake City Slow Pitch, and I do pay sales tax on there from May till October 1st for the Lake City Slow Pitch for the concessions.
And then likewise, it would be your intention to
I have
take a
to-
percentage of the proceeds of the beer sales
Yeah.
and
just
pays
run-
the sales tax.
Yes. So there will be sales tax paid, yes.
And
So you're going to do this for 4 days, 2 days in August and 2 days in September
Correct.
on both locations, basically?
Yes.
Okay.
The second one is for co-ed tournament.
Her state, and there should be about 80 to 90 teams on that
And
weekend.
there's no other youth activities going on during that time?
Not
Nope.
that we're aware of. Nope.
Those are reserved for us right now,
Okay.
for the adults only.
Those complexes are reserved for the adults.
Did you say 9 teams or 90, Nancy?
90.
90
80 to 90
teams.
teams.
Wow.
In August, at the one in September.
We should have one of them every weekend.
Well,
We're-
hopefully this is the start of it for the men's tournament. Hopefully we can keep on doing it now every other year for Watertown.
Does your organization then be responsible for cleaning up, after the
We always
event?
have been, yes.
I would prefer to see it limited to the grounds with, excluding the parking lots. Would that be a problem to
Right
signage?
now at Cook, you can only have your alcohol inside the perimeter, the grounds. You cannot drink in the parking lot, and that's what we would ask also.
Okay.
And no coolers. So,
And no dogs.
and no dogs.
I saw that at the.
Mhm.
Any other questions for him?
I just want to point out one thing. I know that when we considered the zoning of this property, we intentionally had a discussion to have it C1 to entertain these type of conditional uses.
Correct.
So we specifically left the door open for that with this in anticipation.
Whereas if we used a residential zone like a hospital is in, we would
Right,
set a precedence
right.
in a residential zone.
Yep, so
Okay.
we deliberately kind of left this as a possibility when we zoned it.
All right, thank you. Any other questions for the applicants? With that, I'll close the public hearing, ask for a motion and a second for discussion. Motion by Mr. Stein, second by Mr. Alberts. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3 is applicant Lake City Slow Pitch Association permit number 17522 is seeking a conditional use approval for the sale of and consumption of alcoholic beverages in a C1 district at 1811 3rd Avenue Southwest, which is Cook Complex. Do you have to read it all? I can make you not have to read it all if it's the same as the other one.
Yeah, it's the same as the other one except for, no, it's pretty much the same as the other one.
With the exception of that this is at Cook Complex at 1811 3rd Avenue Southwest. Are you still requesting a 2-day? The same 2-day, the same 4 days or 2 days? September and August?
Right.
2 days each.
The only thing that would change in September is if we had 90 teams, we might have to start on Friday night also.
Nancy, would you push your button, the green button, so it'll be over here.
Yep. The only thing that would possibly change is in September, if there's 80 or 90 teams, we might have to play on Friday night.
So we could add that to the motion that if play begins on Friday night,
Right,
we would extend it to a day before that.
correct.
Yeah.
And there would be no youth out there on Friday nights in
Right.
September.
Right. It's just not a big wingding in the parking lot. Play has to begin. Okay.
Yeah, they only can drink in the complex, yeah.
Blake does not like it in the parking lot.
Not to encourage drunk driving.
You know, that's one of the concerns you always have with how do you keep the youth out of there, you know? And it's if you're selling it and somehow you're carding or banding or doing something that you know that you've looked at that guy with the beer in his hands, got a band on his wrist, you know it. But the fear is that when it's city-owned property, if alcohol is out there and it's easy to get because you're on the same team with this person or you went out to watch them, you know, in the past you're pulling it out of their cooler. Here at least they have to go buy it and put it in their cooler. So
I think it's better safety control, we can control it more.
that's the key. Is it would be embarrassment if there's underage consumption on city-owned property. That's what we would look out for. With that, I'll open
So-
the public hearing if anyone has any questions for him.
Yeah, I got a question. So we just approved this at the Lake City one. Is there any possibility that you're going to be playing there Friday night before?
At the,
For in August one?
Yeah.
No, I
no,
don't think so.
the one in August will only be Saturday and Sunday only.
And that's only at the Lake City?
That's at the new complex,
Okay.
yes.
And, all right.
And possibly some at Cook, right? The two big ones at Cook if we need them?
Not the first tournament, I don't believe.
Okay. Cook would be only for the overflow on the first tournament if we needed 5 and 6. Fields 5 and 6.
All right, any other questions for him? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, ask for a motion in a second. Motion by Mr. McGuire. Second by Mr. Dolly. Any discussion?
That includes the Friday night, right? Your motion?
Yeah. Motion included Friday night if necessary, if play begins on Friday night.
For the September one, yes.
Okay. Ask for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Any old business? Can I get a motion to adjourn? Motion by Mr. Stein. Standing motion by Mr. Stein.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dolly. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.